Welcome to another episode of Strong, Happy, Healthy Love podcast. I'm Carl, and today we've got CJ. Welcome,
Hi.
CJ. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, Carl, and good afternoon. A beautiful day outside. Good day for a
Absolutely.
podcast,
How
but
exciting,
I
eh?
really wanted to do it because I'm so interested in mental health and, that's the way things are going these days. So many things going on. So
Absolutely.
thank
Yeah,
you
and
for asking me to do it.
yeah, no worries at all. And you've got a bit of a story. You're 73 years old. You're as old as my mum, so it's nice to have the elder people on here. We've had a few in the past, which is pretty cool because I think everybody has a story. Adopted in the early days in surface.
Yes, and do you know how difficult it is to go over 73 years of your life? It did take me a while.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh, it's still a long way off for me. I'm 45 at the moment, so
Oh, you're a baby. You're a
yeah,
baby.
still a long way off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, adopted. My parents adopted me. I was 2.5 weeks old from Kangaroo Point in Brisbane. And I grew up in Fernie Avenue in Surfers Paradise. So
Yeah,
my
wow.
grandfather had one of the first plumbing businesses on the Gold Coast. And they all originated from Toowoomba. So my
Okay.
grandfather, grandmother, parents came down from Toowoomba, started the plumbing business. And
And
we
he
all
was one
lived
of the first plumbers on the Gold Coast as well.
Yes. Yeah, the
Yeah,
business
wow.
was on the corner of Fernie and Staghorn Avenue, all back from the Marriott. And we were
Okay,
just
yep.
down just a couple of doors back from where the Marriott is now, 116 Fernie Avenue. Can even remember the number.
Wow,
So,
it must have been the Gold Coast itself must have been a lot smaller back then than what it is these days.
oh, very much so. Actually, there's a photograph of me sitting on the step of the house and my dad was Jack, Jack
Oh
Cheney.
yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, we always call it the house that Jack built. But I was sitting on the step and it was just vacant land behind me. Can you believe that? So,
Wow.
yeah, and my cousins, they were in Pine Avenue, Palm Avenue, so we're all within a block of each other. So my mum was the Hopgood, and then she had two brothers, Stan and
Yep.
Alan, and they lived, actually, Uncle Al, he lived in Labrador, but Uncle Stan and some of the other relatives lived just within all, like Pine Avenue, Palm Avenue, so that's all within a block
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
each
wow.
other.
And your dad was quite strict, was he? And also a veteran himself.
Yes, he was a plumber as well, so he worked for my grandfather. But it was great growing up with my cousins. We then families had big families.
Yeah.
One had six. My Uncle Al had, well, they had five. They had two boys, and they had another three boys later. And yes, we all had big families. My Uncle Bill lived just down the road as well. But we played together. One of my
Yeah.
cousins, Carol, she had a leg amputated at birth.
Oh, wow.
Um, oh yeah, but
That's
people
hard
say
going.
that.
Yeah.
Well, it is, but thing is that we'd just go to the beach. You just take a leg off, and down we'd hop down to the
Wow.
water. She's been an amazing, and she won gold. I might add at the Disabled Olympics for
Wow.
swimming.
And why did she have to have her leg amputated?
I think from memory it was peritonitis, some sort of poisoning in the system. So she had
Mm.
to have the leg amputated.
Yeah.
But we only just caught up the other day. So, the cousins, we've always been very close. And now,
Yeah.
of course, they're strewn all over Australia. So hence Facebook, which is very handy.
Yeah.
Keep in touch with them. But to this day, there's not one cousin that we're not close to. We've all kept in touch.
That's
Um,
awesome.
it is, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
really
when
good
you
to
think,
stay in touch. Even at my age, I've lost contact with a lot of my relatives and cousins and things like that.
mm,
That's really good that you're still in touch these days. That's cool.
yeah, well, my Uncle Al passed away a couple of years ago, and he was the last of the Mohicans, so to speak.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
and, some of my cousins have passed too, just from
Mm,
different things that have happened.
yeah.
But we just had so much fun. Like, we had billy carts. We'd down hills. We'd just play with each other, and
Yeah.
Uncle stand across the road from the plumbing bill and Auntie Grace, they had a pianola, which is you work it with the pedals, so you don't actually have to play, which is really good.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah, wow.
we'd all be around. We'd go to their place
And your
with
parents sung at
families.
weddings and things like that.
Yeah, but we'd all be
With
around the
yeah,
pianola and we'd all
yeah, wow.
sing, and it was a very black and white
Yeah.
type of a very simple existence,
Mm,
but it was really good grounding.
yeah,
And yes, you asked me before, my dad was very strict.
yeah,
I remember I wandered through the paddocks at the back over to a friend's place. I don't know, maybe I was like 3 or 4. All I remember is that he hit my backside all the way home. He
yeah,
couldn't
wow.
hold me.
Yeah.
Trust me, I can remember that part very distinctly. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah. I remember the parts that my dad gave me a hide when I was younger
he whacked
too.
my backside. I never ever did it again though. And then they
No,
took my head
yeah.
behind the washing machine too. Yeah, I think I got a similar kind of. But he was strict.
Yeah.
But as you get older, you understand that it's through love. It's not through, when I say
Mm,
strict, there's strict. And
yeah.
because people love you, they want you to grow up. And it was different then. You would never speak back to your mum. Um,
Yeah.
you'd have your head knocked off if
Mm,
you were seen and you were not heard. Totally
yeah.
different
Things that
rules and regulations to what there is now. Even
oh,
TV,
things
I
have
think I was.
changed so much, I think. Things have
Mm.
changed so much these days. I couldn't imagine the change it's been since when you were little. I find it's been a huge change since I was little.
Well, it's massive, but it's been interesting, clearly, to live through so many decades and see the change.
Mm,
And of
yeah.
course, the young people have taught me so much.
Yeah.
You've got technology. I mean,
Yeah. Well, we never
from
stop learning, do we? Yeah.
oh no, no, and this is where you keep your mind open because you learn something new every day of your life.
Yeah.
But having that really good grounding, we were taught, very good manners.
Yeah.
Didn't matter whether, and you had to eat your veggies and what was on
Yeah.
your plate before you got your ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah.
Simple
Did,
things. Mm.
yeah.
But
Did you have siblings?
I did. My sister was adopted 4 years later.
Oh,
My
wow.
mum lost 3 babies, see.
Yeah.
She had 3 miscarriages.
Oh, God.
And my dad was serving in World War II. He was in New Guinea in
Yeah.
the Air Force, the ground crew.
Mm.
And yeah, she lost 3 babies. So they ended up adopting. Heaven knows, I don't think they would have known what they got themselves into.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds, yeah, far out.
And then my sister was adopted 4 years later from the Red Cross. But And I think people to this day find it difficult at times to understand. But my cousins and my sister, you could never have people that are closer. They are my cousins, they are my sister.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
A
nice.
bit of
Yeah.
blood doesn't matter. You know,
No, no, that's
they're
right.
the people that
Yeah.
you've known your whole life.
Yeah.
So you couldn't be
Yeah.
closer to them. Mm.
And you moved to Paradise Point.
Yes. Now what happened was my grandfather moved out to Paradise Point with my grandmother. And they built a house on the corner of Drake Street, which is opposite the boat ramp at Paradise Point. So it's on the other
Okay.
water, on the harbour, on
Yep.
the other side. Anyway, he'd almost finished the house, and my grandmother fell in the bathtub and she hit her head and she
Oh,
passed away. Mm. And
wow.
anyway, my grandfather asked my dad if he'd move out to Paradise Point, if we'd, sell up and move out there, which we did.
Yeah.
Trust me, there was very little at Paradise Point at that particular time, probably a half a dozen,
Yeah.
a few houses.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm. But
Certainly changed a lot now, hasn't it?
oh yes, I don't think there was even a bus route. And you could only get
Yeah.
in along Pine Ridge Road, which is where the Coomera High School is.
Okay. Yep.
Or even to
Yep.
get into Santa Barbara and that you had to go up the highway. So it was a little
Mm.
different to what it is now. Mm.
Yeah. And you grew up with Jimmy Hansfield's
Hansford.
kids.
Yeah, well, Jimmy
Yeah.
Hansford, he just lived up the road. And he
Oh, wow.
eventually bought the land right at the end of Paradise Point, had his own little um, landing strip for an aircraft. But we're just,
Wow.
and we used to have bonfires on the sand. So
Yeah,
we have
cool.
bonfires, crack a night, all
Yeah.
those good things that the kids can't have now.
Yeah. I think when I first moved to Australia, it was Christmas or New Year's or something like that. They had fires and stuff on the beach, but I haven't seen any of that sort of thing in recent days, that's for sure.
No, no. Um, no, but see, this is what I mean. You so many simple things that we had then that the kids
Mm,
don't have now. They have technology and all those things, but I think sometimes, well, I'm sure that, it's a shame we can't get back to a lot of those simple things.
yeah,
Family
yeah,
get-togethers,
yeah.
barbecues, happy
Li
time, laughter,
yeah.
singing.
Living simple way. It's and you lived on a houseboat. That would have been an experience as well.
Oh, we didn't live on the houseboat. What happened was my
Oh,
grandfather, when we moved out there, my grandfather
yeah.
was with a friend of his. They were building a houseboat.
Oh, okay.
It's on
Yeah,
the land.
cool.
Yeah, they were building a houseboat,
Yeah,
and which they ended up putting into the harbour was opposite, so they put the houseboat into that. But and I've still got a photograph that the Courier Mail took of 5 boats dragging it down to Jumping Pin, which is
mm,
like you need to go by water, but these
yeah,
boats drag down. So we spent, it's called the bedroom at Jumping Pin, and
yeah. Okay.
so we spent 1 month in the houseboat down there. And my grandfather actually put in like some water. You could dig down, and so we could have a shower and that. Put all tarpaulin around on the beach. So
Mm,
yeah, but once, but when you're that age, because I had just finished my primary school, so
yeah,
had grown up at Surfers Paradise State School, and then I needed to go to Southport High. My sister went to Labrador State School,
yeah.
and trust me, living at Paradise Point and spending a month on a houseboat was not exactly what a 12, 13-year-old child really wanted to, where you really wanted to be.
I think I can relate. I lived off grid for a little bit. My daughter was 13 at the time, and she said she didn't like the sand and the sweat.
Well, you just wanted to be with your friends.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, stuck out
and
on
I,
the water.
and even from primary school, I always played a lot of sport. So,
Yeah,
you had your sporting friends and you had basketball and you had all sorts of things that you'd rather be
yeah,
doing than
yeah,
spending time on a houseboat. But
yeah.
I mean,
Did,
now, you look back and you think, wow.
did you just move around in the houseboat or just stay in the one spot?
Oh, no, yeah, the houseboat was just anchored
Yeah.
and just stay in this little area called the bedroom, which is a little protected, sort of like just a little harbour, not a harbour, but it was just protected. You had,
Mm,
the island behind you, Stradbroke
yeah,
Island,
yeah, yeah.
and yeah, it was good, I suppose, at the time.
And then after that, is that when you moved into a war service house? Can you tell me about that? I've never heard of a war service house before.
No, see, because my dad served,
Yeah.
but what happened was things did not go well living with my grandfather.
Mm,
So,
okay.
yes. So yeah, there were arguments, and in the end it really did fall apart.
Yeah.
And anyway, my mum and dad just left and they had nothing because my
Oh,
dad had put all the money they'd put, when they sold the house in Surfers,
yeah.
everything in the house at Paradise Point, but they left
Mm,
with absolutely nothing. So then he was a plumber and drainer still,
yeah.
and we rented at Paradise Point. We rented in Errol Avenue,
Yeah.
then in Milton Avenue. So we had a couple of rentals that we went into. But yeah, because my dad had served in the war,
Mm,
then he could apply for a house through the war service.
that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was at Bigger Waters.
Yeah.
So we eventually moved there. Um, and yeah, he continued with his plumbing and draining. And anyway, and then I, um, at that stage, I ended up getting my first job at the Gold Coast Bulletin.
Yes, yes. I was just looking at that now. So I was going to ask you about it, but you brought it up. That's awesome. So what was that like? That's cool.
Oh, it was good. And I
Yeah,
started bookbinding, which a lot of people wouldn't even know what that was. But
yeah,
basically collating, pages into invoice books but the typesetters, so the Gold Coast Bullet, the actual bulletin newspaper was all typeset directly behind where Jan and I worked.
yeah.
So we'd stand there all day bookbinding and all the typesetting for the bulletin was behind us. So all the boys and girls, the paper would be proofread and then it
Yeah.
would the print that had been typeset would go to Wollongbar and be printed down at Wollongbar at that particular stage.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
that was a very long time ago. And then my um well, he became my first husband. Kenny came from Sydney. He came
Okay.
as a proofreader,
Oh,
and
yep.
he started the book at the Bulletin, and I used to proofread a copy hole for him. And anyway, that's how I met Ken, my first husband.
Yeah.
And we actually we had our first date at the Grand Hotel at
Oh,
Labrador.
wow. Oh, gosh.
I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I was
And
actually there this week.
oh,
Yeah.
were you?
Yeah. Yeah. I took a friend there this week for some lunch. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Interesting.
it's
Yeah.
still nice, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And anyway, we ended up getting married. And do you know, I'd never ever, so I got married at 18, but I knew
Oh,
absolutely
wow. That's so
everything.
young.
I know, but I knew everything, so it was all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
18
What?
years old,
Yeah.
you know absolutely everything.
Yeah.
So anyway, do you know I'd never ever moved away from my parents' house. So I'd always live with my mum
Oh,
and dad.
yeah.
It just wasn't done then. We
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
travel, we didn't live out of home. And so we got married. I got married one day at my
Yeah.
mum and dad's. We had
Oh, wow.
we had the whole thing at mum and dad's, and they throw the wedding breakfast and the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then with Ken, we drove to Sydney, and he'd been down previously, about a month or so before, to find a place to live. So we got in the car and drove down the coast. And first little place that we had was at Harbord, which is on the Manly side.
Okay.
Little
Yeah. Yeah.
street that just went down to the beach. It was just a little one-bedroom unit. So that was the first time I'd ever moved away.
Yeah.
And yeah, lived in this little place at Harbord in Sydney. Didn't know a soul. Didn't know him.
Wow.
And he worked in,
Gosh. And at that, and you're so young as well. Yeah.
I know. Well, I turned 19 not long after that. So then I
Yeah.
knew even more, of course. But that was my first experience living
Yeah.
away from home, getting
Wow.
married. And
Yeah.
he worked in the city in Sydney.
Yeah.
So he'd commute to into Sydney each day, the 5 days a week. And I ended up just looking for jobs, and I got a job at Mentor Socks. It was a sock factory of all things. You'd check
Oh,
all this, so the barrels, it would spin the socks, make the socks, and you'd have to check all the socks for any faults, any
yeah.
holes, or, any pulls or anything like that.
Yeah.
And the shifts were one week, 6 till 2, and the other next week, 2 till 10. So that was
Yeah.
a
Wow.
yeah, and I could actually walk down. I
Yeah.
wouldn't walk clearly on the, 2 till 10 shift, but I could actually walk to work. And it didn't really matter what I did, you were just earning money and things like that. So
Yeah.
we ended up
Yeah.
lasted down there a couple of years, but then we came back to Queensland.
Yeah.
Um, Ken loved it up here, and I really miss my mum and dad
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
my family.
Yeah.
So we came back to Queensland, and then Ken went to work with my dad as a plumber and drainer, which he'd never done before. And we rented a little place in Labrador in Wilson Street.
Yeah.
And
It would have been a big difference going from newspapers to plumbing and draining.
well, for him, yeah, oh yes, because
Yeah.
you see, he used to, well, once again, he was doing the proofreading, but
Yeah.
they used to do like things like encyclopedias, and it was
Oh,
it,
wow.
it was
Yeah.
Dally Middleton and more from memory in Kent Street in Sydney, and he used to proofread in there, and
Mm.
yeah, so yes, a big difference, but
Yeah.
the outdoors and things like that, And anyway, we lasted up here a couple of years, and he always had his boat. He loved his boating. So we'd
Yeah.
go out fishing, go out to
Yeah.
35 fathoms, and yeah, we'd go fishing, stripies, great fishing, terrific
Yeah.
fishing. Yeah. Um, and then anyway, uh, I ended up and I fell pregnant. So this was after several years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, fell pregnant.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, we will have to go back to Sydney because of the financial situation, because he could earn more money down there.
Okay. Yeah.
So we went back to Sydney, and I was only just pregnant. And anyway, he went back to where he used to work before.
Yeah.
We had a unit at DY,
And how old were you at this stage when you fell pregnant?
about 21.
Oh wow. Yeah. Gee, God, so young. Yeah.
Um, Anyway, he went back to work, and once again, I got a job back bookbinding. Just
Oh,
around,
okay.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
know.
Good stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's just seemed to be an industry then that you could just get. The printing and kindred industry was quite big, and I always could fall on my feet with a job doing that, and that's all I really knew, except
Yeah.
for socks, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, the sock factory.
That's cool.
Yeah. And yeah, so anyway, but I worked part-time right up until the day before I had my our first daughter,
Yeah.
and was still in Sydney. Um, and then we ended up buying a house, first house in Woy. So we
Mm.
ended up moving from DY.
Yeah.
We had our little daughter, moved to Woy, and then I in Dalcara Road in Woy. And that was the only time I didn't go back to work then.
Yeah.
So a couple of years off, fell pregnant again with the second one
Yeah.
because I was about 6 months old. And yeah, fell pregnant again and then had our son, but then went back to work part-time. Oh, I was selling Tupperware at one stage,
Oh wow. Yeah.
and our neighbours, and that's okay, Helen and Ken, they're our neighbours. Do you know, Helen and I remained friends up until she passed away about 5 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so many,
Wow.
many, many
Yeah,
years.
that's a long time, isn't it?
Yeah, but like the cousins, you make friendships, good friends. They're there
Yeah.
forever.
Yeah.
So anyway, and then I went back. Helen would help look after um, Glenn, like my son, when he was small.
Yeah.
I went back and again collating newspapers, which
Mm.
was
Yeah.
eventually got a job, again bookbinding, about a half an hour from where we lived at Woy, and drop my daughter into the childcare centre at Point Clare.
Yeah.
And a really good friend would look after our son, Glenn. And yeah, we lived down there. Anyway, I suppose, going forward, Ken and I broke up,
Okay.
but 10 years of marriage, two
Wow.
children.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I came back to Queensland, had needed to go and live with my mum and dad in
Yeah.
the old Kingswood with two little children that weren't
Oh
quite
gosh.
3 and 5, and
Yeah.
yeah, with a black and white TV from memory,
Yeah.
couple
Wow.
of
And
suitcases, and
your ex-husband stayed down in Sydney, is that?
he
Or did he
did.
come? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
he stayed in the house down there,
Yeah.
and yeah, he ended up meeting someone about 12 months later and
Mm.
remarried. It
Yeah.
was all fine though, it's
Yeah.
not it. He stayed there. I came back up here to Queensland because this was home,
Yeah.
and needed to live with my parents for about 9 months till I got on my
Yeah.
feet.
With two kids as well.
Yes, but
Yeah. Yeah.
your children, you just love your kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
I
love your
know the
kids.
feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you
And
don't even think about it. You just do it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
when you're
and
young, you're resilient and you bounce back up.
yeah,
So I needed to live to them till I could get a job and start again. And once again, bookbinding for a while.
yeah.
And then the first house out here at Paradise Point, round in Topaz Court. And my mum and dad had a couple of spare beds that they could
Oh,
loan us. I had a mattress on the floor,
yeah.
and they had an old stereo system. The stereos then were huge. They were like huge speaker boxes.
Oh, well, like half the wall type thing.
I were like, the little cupboard you have beside your bed. They were massive.
Yeah, wow, yeah, yeah,
And yeah, anyway, we had enough. We had enough. A couple of bean bags. We
yeah,
had 3 bean bags.
yeah.
The old TV, but it was good fun.
Mm,
We
yeah.
still yeah. Anyway, we survived. We survived, and went from there. Then someone suggested to me, um, what happened was I had the bookbinding, but they had a company where they needed someone to collect money as a debt collector. And I
Oh,
started doing that.
oh, cool.
I know. Well, it
It
was,
makes me think straight away. No, that's a bit scary. CJ rocking up. You owe me some money.
yeah, but it's not like that. It's weird. I can't sell you anything.
Yeah.
I could collect money.
Oh, wow.
So one thing led to another. And I ended up, the bottom line on the whole thing is that I ended up with 6 companies, different hats for each company. I'd use my proper
Wow.
name, which is Cynthia.
Yeah.
And I'd say, look, it's Cynthia from like Harris Signs, Cynthia from Heaney's Printing. And I'd go in and I'd collect this money. But also, some of them were very, very small offices
Yeah.
that had no filing system, that had no one to look after their office. Like, Harris Signs, for example, I went in there. So I set up the filing systems, did the
Yeah.
cash books, paid the wages, collected the money. But I could go into this whole 6 companies in one day, or you could
Wow.
spread them out through the week. So
Yeah.
that's how
Wow.
I got into that. And that I actually
Yeah.
did for 30 years because
Gosh.
even, I know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Debt collecting for 30 years.
yes, yeah,
Wow. I wouldn't have guessed that.
no, I know. Well, the last one I had FPC printers and I collected money. I'd just go in the end and just do their debt collection. So
Yeah.
I had about six companies that I looked after. Um, but the my dad started to get he was he had a stroke and he
Mm.
lost the sight of
Oh,
one eye. And of
that's no
course he
good.
had to, and he was actually on a roof, plumbing and drain.
Mm.
He was up on a roof at the time when it happened.
Yeah.
So he needed to give up. Clearly, he retired straight away,
Mm.
and then eventually got emphysema. But
Oh,
my dad, yeah, they were still at bigger orders,
yeah.
and sort of some of this is out. The sequence of events is not exactly correct, but
Yeah.
he had become he'd always smoked from when he was in the war
Yeah.
because they were just given roll your owns, and I
I
don't know whether
smoked when I was a
you
soldier as well. I think it's
yes,
the done thing for a lot of soldiers. And
that's
you're
exactly.
young as well, so you don't think about your lungs at that age. And by the time, you get older, you're smoking
Mm.
a pack a day type thing.
Well, he was like 17 or some such thing when he went,
Mm.
and but they wanted to join. It was not
Yeah,
like
same age as me. I
one,
was 17 when I joined the army
yes,
as well. Yeah.
yeah, exactly right. Like, but they wanted to join. It's not
Yeah.
like Vietnam War where everyone was conscripted.
Mm.
They
Yeah.
really wanted to join. They wanted to fight for their country.
Yeah.
Um, And in those days too, getting away from, but this is kind of important to mental health, really. The
Yeah.
thing is that, as I said, they wanted to join. They all smoked, and he would never talk about the war. He'd only tell
Mm.
me the fun stories about, the things that they used to do, and
Yeah.
always the funny things, never
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
war. And but anyway, And then when all that stuff happened in Paradise Point, he never, ever really forgave himself. He could
Mm.
never forgive himself for losing everything. He felt like as a husband and a father, he'd let us all down. So he
Yeah.
became a very heavy smoker, really
Mm.
heavy,
Yeah.
and very big drinker. Always at home.
Mm.
He never drank
Yeah.
out, but it wasn't good. I remember Dad and I at Bigger Waters, we used to sit on there was a septic tank in those days. We used to sit out there and he used to say, oh, and my family called me Cindy. My proper name is Cynthia. And he
Yeah.
says, Cindy, I've let you down. I'm so just,
Mm.
he never ever forgave himself. And that's why he ended up doing those things.
Yeah.
So then, but my mum and dad always helped me out.
Yeah.
Um, when I had those 6 companies that I looked after, the kids went to Bigger Waters State School
Yeah.
and they could walk around the corner to my mum and dad. My dad had built
Mm.
things out of PVC pipings like horses and things like that that they'd play.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah.
They have great memories of
Yeah.
it's their nan and pa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, once again, in amongst it all, I always look at the happy times,
Yeah. Yeah.
happy times
That's
when we're
the way to
growing.
go, I think too. It's better for the mind to remember the happy times.
Yeah, but you can't, like you discipline, we were disciplined, you discipline your kids.
Yeah.
We were raised differently then, but
Mm.
we really did have happy times when we were kids, lots of, as did the
Yeah.
piano, the laughter. Um,
Mm.
and if you were disciplined, it's because you were taught, you needed to be taught good manners and,
Yeah. There's not
it
much discipline these days.
do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yes.
yeah. Yeah.
But
It's
anyway, those 6 companies. And then, but in between all of this, I ended up in another relationship, but we didn't live together.
right.
So I was a single parent. We went from Topaz Court, we ended up in Imperial Parade at Labrador, and then another place in Hernsted. But I lived just with my kids for 10 years.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
my then relationship and with Max, once again, we met, we were actually together 26 years in total,
Oh,
but we
wow.
actually lived together and married probably about 10 years.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Max
Yeah.
and I ended up buying a house at Paradise Point. So
Yeah.
I didn't have very much money, but the money that I did have, we put into that as well.
Were your parents still around at this stage?
They were,
Yeah.
yes, they were. Um,
Yeah. Cool.
my and he was good to his own mum, and he
Yeah.
was very, very good to my parents as well. We used to go around there Saturday morning. It's funny how now I'm remembering other things as well. We used to go down around there on Saturday morning. We had a little racing syndicate. So my mum would do all the betting
Yeah.
and she put $5 away. So we'd put in like $5 each. So, that's what she used to do is put $10 away into a bank account and then $10 she'd bet on the horses. So we're talking like 50-cent quinellas and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But she loved it. She just loved it. And she'd have the radio on and she'd listen to all the horses. And so we'd go around there every Saturday morning and yeah, once again, it was good. And he
Yeah.
Glenn, when he was just small, he'd play soccer down here at Runaway Bay.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
his little, I can always remember his little, they wear the little pads over the shins and
Yeah.
all
Yeah. Yeah.
his
Yeah.
little tiny legs running around the fields. Nicole played netball later on, but
Yeah.
yeah, so but it was good, it was good that I could work different hours
Mm.
so that I could be there most of the time for the kids
Yeah.
and and but then they could walk around to Nan and Pa's and they have, as I said, such wonderful memories of being with their grandparents.
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, so
That's nice.
yeah,
It's
when
good to it's good they got to hang out with their grandparents. I think that's pretty important, eh?
well, it really is because once again,
Mm.
it's good grounding and beautiful
Yeah.
memories for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, so anyway, and then my dad got sick.
Mm.
He had the emphysema. So,
Yeah.
and that was just awful to watch.
Yeah.
I'm sure that so many people out there and so many people have experienced anything, so much illness, but to watch him, and he literally would climb the walls. He had to have his hands on the walls. He could not get his breath. So
Wow.
once again, it was good that I had different companies and could work my own
Mm.
hours,
Yeah. The
with,
medical side of things was probably a lot different back there then as well compared to what it
yes,
is now. So their pain relief and things like that probably might have been different. I don't know.
yes, well, that's true. But I could work around and take him to with my mum, of course, as well.
Yeah.
Took him to doctors, and sometimes I'd take him to the hospital. He just couldn't breathe, so I'd have to take him up, for oxygen. And it's
Yeah.
it's it's not.
Did he keep smoking or did he stop smoking when that
No,
happened?
he gave that up straight away. It
Yeah.
was the
Yeah.
last time he ever smoked.
Some people keep smoking even when that
Mm.
happens to them. It's
And
yeah, the addiction, I suppose, eh?
exactly. And when he had the stroke and then he got the emphysema, he was. They moved to a retirement village,
Yeah.
which was by far the best move, so that it clearly something was going to happen to him. It
Mm.
was a short term sentence, wasn't it? And
Yeah.
so he made sure that my mum was settled in this retirement village. They moved to retirement village, and then she didn't have the house, the lawns, and all that sort of thing. It was just a little house with big rewarders, but a lot of maintenance when you've got a house.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, so they moved to the retirement village. It was a great little place there. And then he ended up, he eventually got lung cancer.
Mm.
That's just horrendous.
Yeah.
So once again, and I would take him sometimes to the hospital, and I'd have him in the back of the car, and he'd be half lying down, and he would just groan in pain.
Mm.
So, for those people that smoke, or what more can I say?
There's a good reason to stop smoking right there, isn't it? Like what a
And then he ended up,
yeah. Yeah.
sometimes he'd have to stay in the hospital for a week or so to get his
Yeah.
lungs working again.
Yeah.
And he would end up with oxygen at home. And then he had to be taken to the hospital. The ambulance came, took him to the hospital. And he wasn't, he never came out again.
Yeah.
It
How old were you at this stage? What was your age?
would have been in my late 30s. He was
Yeah.
only
Okay.
64. He
Oh
had his
wow.
65th birthday. His birthday is the 7th of May.
Yeah.
And it's funny, he stayed with us all for our birthdays, in as much
Yeah.
as.
Yeah.
So he was the 7th of May.
Yeah.
My mum's was earlier in the year in February. Um, my sister's, oh, well, I was the 28th of June. My sister's the 14th of July. So, and then he passed away at the end of July.
Oh well, so he's
That's,
only in his early 60s when he passed away.
yeah, he just turned 65 at that birthday.
Oh gosh.
Mm. So
Wow.
it's way too young, isn't it, for anybody?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Mm,
I think it's yeah, really
mm,
that's really young.
mm.
Yeah.
But
Especially like you're fit as a fiddle and you're 73, you've that's a
mm,
lot of years after 60 fit's an extra 10 years and you're still going.
yes,
So,
well, see,
yeah.
yes, and I was still at so I was still doing the companies,
Yeah.
but to see him, and I was actually at Heaney's Printing at the time, and I don't think these people the businesses are long gone now. And I got a phone call to say, look, you need to come to the hospital now.
Mm.
And I went up straight away, and I went to his bed where he'd been for 2 weeks, and the bed was empty and made. And I
Oh.
yelled, look, I can see the
Oh.
look. That was the look on your face was the same one on mine.
Mm.
I went, oh my God, no, 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 I've missed him. Oh my God, he's died. I haven't been here. Anyway, but this is an interesting little side story.
Yeah.
And my auntie, she's an auntie, my auntie Sino I was named after. She was down the hallway, and it's like, no, 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 up here. But they would take him. He was at Alamanda Hospital, which is no longer in existence. But I went into this room and he's propped up in this bed with the oxygen mask. And my mum's one side, my auntie Sin's there, and my sister's there. And somewhere along the line, I'd read where people who were in a coma, which he was, could hear you. So I went round the other
Mm.
side of the bed and I sat down and I held his hand and I started talking to him. That's rubbish, you
Yeah.
know. And we all called him Nan and Pa because my kids were always called him Nan and Pa. So anyway, I'd say, "Oh, Pa, look, I'm so sorry. I've been at work. And, it's been such a busy day." Just complete rubbish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anything that I could think of.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
and he's,
Just so we can hear and listen. And yeah,
yes,
that's
yeah.
nice.
Well, hopefully. Anyway, here's the interesting part. Had his hand, and I saw this slight little, just a slight shift in his face. And I
Mm.
put my hand, he was on a lambswool cover, and I put my hand underneath the sheet, and he'd wet the bed, right? I'll just say it outright,
Y-
he'd wet the bed. And I
Yeah.
mouthed to my mother, I didn't say it out loud. I said, "Nan, he's wet the bed. I'm going to get the nurse."
Yeah.
This is a true story. I got
Yeah.
up, turned around, and the next minute he brought himself up out of the bed with his arms out to follow me.
Oh, wow.
Unconscious, I swear.
Yeah.
And my sister screamed and she said, "Cindy," she said, "Go out." And I went back and I said, and then I just said, "Oh, Pa, I'm so sorry. I've spilt water on your bed." I said, "I'm going to go and get the nurse." I said, "Nan's here." So, yeah, that's
Wow.
a true story. So,
Wow.
yeah, so that
Yeah.
convinced me then that
Gosh.
people do hear you in a coma.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, but to go forward from there, my mum lived in the retirement village, and I would call her every day. There was never one day that I didn't call, like phone her, and then I'd call in to see her. She loved bingo, so she'd get
Yeah.
on the bus and go to bingo. And even before I was in the fitness industry, I'd say, "Well, look, Nan, even getting out of the chair or just go for a little walk." And, no, it was too hot, it was too cold. "Oh, Cindy, I'll do it tomorrow." But she'd get on the bus and go to bingo. Anyway, but she at times wasn't always well. So
Mm.
I had her at hospitals and things like that at different times. But she ended up having a fall, and
Mm.
when I say it, she ripped the skin off the front of her shin, and that was kind
Yeah.
of the end of, like they did operations. They took skin from her hip and put it onto her
Yeah.
shin, but nothing. She really couldn't.
How old was she at this stage?
Oh, she would have been in her early 80s.
Yeah.
So she ended up in a nursing home. My sister and we sold the place. We ended up selling the place and got her into the nursing home. And she was in there for 4 years. So once again, but I love the
Mm.
nursing home. They were so good to her. It was a Churn Park. It's like an old motel that was converted into a nursing home. So it had nice
Oh,
big
yeah.
windows and things. It wasn't like a lot of
Nice.
them now that look like prisons.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so I'd go
Oh,
up every day
wow.
there.
Yeah.
Times
Yeah.
I'd be there for a fee. But I'd go and visit other people too. It was actually just a real, and the staff, if you want to call them that, they were just incredible. They were so kind to her. And she was
Oh,
never in
that's good.
trouble.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's
Mm.
really good. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, I think it's important to have the right people looking after people when they're at that stage. Like
Mm.
can make so much of a difference to people mentally if they've got people who want to be there with them, or they've got people who are just there because it's their job and
Yes.
they have to be there. Mm.
Mm. Well, the thing is that you knew that she was being looked after, and she was such a quiet little thing. She was never in any trouble. But backtracking from that particular period, when she was here in the nursing home, sorry, at the retirement village, I was still doing my collection and my
Yeah,
offers, and I joined the gym out at Sanctuary Cove.
yeah, cool.
And anyway, one of the offices had closed down.
Yeah.
I was just talking to the then gym manager. We were just chatting away. I was actually on the cross trainer at the time. I said, oh, I've just lost one of the, officers, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he said, well, look, there's a little job going on reception. So I said,
Oh,
so I applied for that.
yeah.
And so I started. So I was a member there for 2 years.
And what year was this? How far back's this?
Well, I started work there in 19, because I've been out there a total of 33 years.
Oh, wow.
So keeping in mind I was a member.
Yeah.
So what, 1984, I
Yeah.
started work there, but I was a member prior to that.
It must have only just been built then.
It was,
Yeah,
yes. It
wow.
was a
That's
good
so
gym,
cool.
though. We had the
Yeah.
gym, one side, like one building was the gym, and beside it was the golf pro shop.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so, and I'd won member of the year,
Yeah.
and that particular year I won 5 days of Golden Door Health Retreat, which was, a health retreat where you went out and all you did was eat this really amazing vegetarian food.
Yeah.
Then did your yoga and your all that sort of stuff early in the morning. My
Yeah.
day. So that kind of got me ingrained more so with the fitness industry. And anyway, so once I started work, I started on reception, and my son and I used to come and do the early morning, Sunday morning abs and stretch class.
Yeah. How old was your son at this stage?
Oh, he would have just still been a teenager.
Yeah.
So I'd have to work it out, calculate it out. But he probably was like 16 or some such thing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd come out and we'd do the abs and stretch class. I went, I'd really like to be able to take that one class. So I decided to start doing my Cert 3.
Oh, good on you.
Yes.
Very
So
cool.
I was 46.
Yeah.
And I went back and did my Cert 3, Cert 4 and my aerobic module.
Oh, it's never too late. I turned 46 this year.
There you go, Carl.
Yeah.
There's still hope for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you look at you, you've just started doing all of this. And you're
Yeah.
basically I mean, we've known each other a couple of years now. So
Yeah.
you've really
Yeah.
gotten into this and making a wonderful career for yourself. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Thank you. Yeah.
it must be our midlife crisis thing.
Yeah, maybe it is something like that. We get to mid 40s and go, oh, time for a drastic change.
Yes, enough. I know,
Yeah.
there's kind of thing, what do you want to do that for? I said, oh, I don't know, I just want to take the abs and stretch class. But anyway, from there, so I started, so I was still on reception,
Yeah.
still had the companies that I looked after, but then they gave me 3 shifts on the gym floor, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And I started in rehab. Do you want to
Oh.
know how much I knew about rehab?
Well, how much you started in rehab? Did you know much about it? Well,
Oh,
you would have
kind of.
known a bit with helping your sick folks out and stuff. So
Well,
you would have been having a caring nature anyway. But
yeah, and thank you. Yes, I did,
mm,
because I had, looked after my dad such a lot, and of course my mum.
yeah,
And anyway, but there was a guy, he was lovely, he was a doctor, and
yeah,
he would be there. He was from the PA hospital. So you'd get all these the heart like they have stents and things like that. And they were sent to us. If they lived on the Gold Coast, they were sent to us, I'm including myself in that,
yeah,
look
yeah.
after them. So recovery, starting them on an
Mm,
exercise program.
yeah, yeah.
So keeping in mind, I've only just started and he left after 2 weeks. I don't think it was anything I said. I hope
Oh
not.
wow. Is this I just looking at my notes here and you said you wish you had a crystal ball to make some decisions.
Oh, yeah, oh no, that's later on. No, no. But anyway, yes. So I was left with doing rehab and I just continued with exactly the same programs. Anyway, they all survived, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, that's what you want. Yeah, yeah. So they can come back for another round.
It's like everything in life. When you throw
Yeah,
into the deep end, you
yeah,
learn very quickly.
Yeah,
And
I'm a big believer in stepping into your fears. I think if you're scared of something, you do it anyway because there's great growth comes from that, and that's where you might not necessarily be the thing that you're doing, but that's where you make connections and meet other people and things like that. I
mm,
think anyway. Yeah,
oh, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, honestly, one of the best things. Um, from there, I just took such an interest in rehab.
yeah, good
We
work.
ended
That's
up,
so cool.
well, we ended
Helping
up,
other people.
also, we had the Vietnam vets come to us.
Yes.
And that
Yeah.
then, that was a great learning curve. Once
Mm,
again, just listening. And this is the major thing, just listening to everyone, as you said before, everyone has a story,
yeah.
but they really needed to share. They had the PTSD, the things that
Yeah.
they'd gone through, the depression. But that was my first experience um, outside of my own family,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, that you were witness to, and
Mm.
you could just hear the pain that
Yeah, it would have
they
been really
had.
fresh for them too back then, I think, too, for the
It
Vietnam
was.
vets. Yeah,
Well, as we all know, the poor old Vietnam vets came back, and it was the war that they shouldn't have been in, etc., etc.
yeah,
So
yeah,
instead of coming back
yeah,
heroes, and they'd been conscripted to go,
yeah,
there's no choice. Then they
yes,
didn't come. So, there was just such a stigma, which
yeah,
is terribly sad for those people.
I think so.
And
Yeah,
yeah, and then from there, I started to get more into, and I did personal training. Um,
oh,
and then from there, I'd just have sometimes one of the members brought her husband in who had Parkinson's. Now, there's a couple of different types of Parkinson's. There's the one where the shaking,
yeah,
but this one, Johnny's name was. And he came in and he had one, they'd fold almost in on themselves, like their hands were in front. And he was a tall man. So I can't
mm,
explain it. His posture, he had his hands folded against his chest. He was bent over. And from there, I thought, wow, how can I open this person's body up? How can I get
yeah,
attention again? And I just
mm,
simply would throw like a soft ball to him, like a kid's ball. And I
yeah,
said,
yeah,
John, I'm going to throw it to you, to that hand. And he'd have to catch it. And he'd have to catch it with both hands. Now, John, I'm going to
yeah,
throw it here. So, it's kind of common sense to a degree. So I
yeah,
started
yeah,
with him like that. And over a period of time, personal training him. And in the end, he could come in, he could do his own workouts. He'd go on the cross trainer, he'd go on the rower, do
yeah,
the mm. So it was once again getting into the rehab. It was interesting to just be able to. I just love helping people.
yeah,
I
yeah,
really do.
yeah.
It's,
Good on you. That's so cool. Yeah.
yes, yes. So
And I think it's awesome that you went into the gym. I was actually, when I was driving home from the gym today, I heard a thing on the radio saying that people who are healthy and happy live much longer than other people.
well, I'll let you know.
Healthy and happy and going to the gym. Going to the gym's a big thing because I often ask people ask my elders what's the secret, and they all say most of the time they say be happy and going to the gym every
Mm.
day, things like that. Yeah.
Well, it's advertised, of course, now, but it is true. Exercise and mental health
Mm,
go together. It really,
absolutely. Yeah.
but you don't have to go and run a marathon. I
No.
mean, get outside in the sunshine,
Yeah.
you know, and it's
Just a
all,
just a bit of movement, really. Yeah. Just moving for a couple of hours each day, and yeah,
well, that's it. Look, it's more complicated than that. You learn as you go through life.
yeah.
Some people, my mum, for example, when she was in the nursing home classic, it took her until she was like 85 years old to know she was never motivated. I used to
Mm,
say to her, Nan,
wow.
you know,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
in the nursing home, that was my biggest lesson. Because the
Yeah.
thing is that, you'd have people, they were folded in half on wheelie walkers, with osteoporosis and things like that.
Yeah.
And they can't get in and out of a chair, and they're not that old, not in comparison to what we've got now.
Mm, yeah.
There's friends of mine, they're 80. There's one lady that come in, she's about to turn 90. I've known her
Mm,
for years and years and years, all the years I've been there.
yeah.
You know, she
Yeah.
still comes in,
Yeah.
still sits on those machines. Another guy, Billy Rowe, he comes in, he's the same, he's
Yeah.
like 95. I
Yeah.
once
Oh,
did that. This
it's
true
impressive.
story.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he comes in, does his little workout.
Yeah.
Incredible. So,
Yeah. So good. And to think that people are dying of these things when they're in, dying a lot earlier in their 60s, and you still got these other people that are doing
mm,
the same 30 years later,
mm.
still going to the gym in their 80s and 90s, and like yourself, still working at 73.
But amazing attitudes, they've got,
Mm,
but keeping in mind, there are people that are not motivated. My,
yeah.
I laugh about it to this day. It's like, oh, okay. She was never really motivated. She was never, like I said, it was either too hot, too cold. And I
Yeah.
chuckle about it now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she could get on the bus and go to bingo. She loved bingo. So she was motivated, but at least she got out. She did different
Yeah.
things. Because see,
Yeah.
and I'll stay on the subject with my mum for a little while, because
Yeah.
the thing is that many learning curves at this particular age, but when she was in the nursing home, once again, just watching other people around her that couldn't, and Alzheimer's, like dementia, Alzheimer's, things like that, the things that you saw in the nursing home.
Yeah.
Um, but oh, yeah, she's, she once I've lost my train of
No,
thought.
that's right. How long was she in the nursing home for?
She was in there for 4 years,
Yeah, wow,
and
that's a
mm, and but in the nursing home as well, you're around people, you see Alzheimer's, you see dementia, you see
yeah.
all those different things that affect people's lives, families, and
Mm,
the pain and the hurt, and especially with
yeah.
dementia too, because and even Nan, I'd go up and I'd say, "Hiya, Nan," and she'd look at me, and she'd go, "Oh, Cindy, you're here again." And she'd lift it
Yeah.
off the pillow. She said, "Oh, Cindy, yeah." And I'd just go, "Yes, Nan."
Yeah.
So,
It's actually a bit of a coincidence, but presently I'm actually looking after someone who's in one of these homes at the moment, and he has dementia. I hang out with him for a couple
mm,
of hours every week. So it's what you're talking about, I can relate to big time. It is, um, so they're really onto it with some things, but then they can't remember what they said to you 30 seconds prior. So,
mm.
yeah.
And they kind of not. And the thing is that you just go along, you're much better off.
Yeah.
You don't
Yeah.
want to say to them,
No.
well, hang on, why are you saying that? Because, you just go along with it. And with
Yeah. Yeah.
say, "Oh, yeah, Nan."
Because that's their world and their life and what they see now, and it's almost like it's shrunk and it's shorter versions, isn't it?
Mm,
It's a really
mm,
humbling
mm,
to be around, I guess, and especially
mm.
in those homes, and a lot of those people that are in there have nobody coming to see them or have no one. They're
Oh.
just in there, and they just have the nurses of their only company.
Well, that would happen a lot, and you get to know so many. You'd go and visit people, and it was great, because they didn't have, and not necessarily because people were being mean either, I might add. They might have children that live in an interstate and they
Yeah.
can't visit them, so there's
Yeah.
different
Or everybody's died
circumstances.
and they're the last one.
Well, there's a
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah.
Um, but in the meantime, I was still at the gym. So I was working at
Mm.
the gym. I
Yeah.
still did a bit of reception, worked in the gym, personal training, and I very foolishly decided to do my aerobic module somewhere along the line.
Oh, wow. How
Oh,
old were you then?
wow. Oh, well, it all just happened within, my late
Yeah.
40s.
Wow, that's so cool. Good
My
on you.
first, well,
Good on
as
you,
I said,
CJ.
I just wanted to take
That's
that one
inspiring.
little, yeah,
That should be inspiring to the older people.
I just take that one little old class on a Sunday morning. Oh
Yeah.
no, not me. And
Are you still running classes now?
Oh, yes, but I must tell you the first class
Oh, wow.
that I ever took was like 6 a.m. in the morning, and my jaw was shaking. Mentally, I just went, "You fool, what have you done?"
Scary,
Fortunately, I
doing
knew the
something
members.
scary. Yeah.
There was only like about 6 people, and I
Yeah.
could barely even speak. I was shaking so much.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I look back and I can laugh about it now. And yes, 30 years later, I'm still taking classes.
Wow.
And
That's inspirational, I think, for sure, you know.
yeah, well, I started going to one of the yoga teachers out there, Trish. I started to go to her yoga classes, and then I ended up doing all my yoga module. And I used to take deep water running. I take bike classes. Oh, I'm going to go with aerobic classes. I don't know how good they were. I mean, and but then I did 25 years of yoga, and then
Oh, wow.
so well, for example, on a
You
Saturday.
wouldn't even know how many hours you've done in yoga then. That's well over thousands of hours. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
But and then you've still got your home, you've still got your family,
Yeah.
and and then I said Max and I lived together at Paradise Point. So at that point, we'd moved in together,
Yeah.
and the kids were getting older. They were at high school, and and of course they moved once they finished high school. They kind of moved out. Eventually, Nicole moved out, and then Glenn out with friends and things like that. But the the class, yeah, 25 years of yoga, the classes. But Saturday morning, for example, I'd take yoga, then I'd go upstairs and take the bike class. Then I'd go running out from there and take the deep water running class on a Saturday morning.
Wow. Wow.
I know.
That's awesome.
That was when I was fit. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, but you just
What do you
feel.
say? What do you say to people who say they're too old to do exercise these days? Because I hear that a lot.
I just laugh and I go, "You're
Yeah.
really talking to the wrong person."
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No,
They're
we're never too old
your
to do anything.
they're, they're your age or they're 35 or something. Go, "Oh, I'm just too old to
Yeah.
do this," and I just have a bit of a chuckle. I go, "Yeah, right, okay."
Yeah. Oh,
You'll
absolutely.
have to come up with a better excuse. So, but yeah, but anyway, um, but I'd say that anyway, my mum, I'll go back to her because she,
Yeah, that's a bit of a sad story, that, isn't it?
well, Max and I ended up splitting up. And
Right.
yeah, it was just one of those things, just circumstances.
Yeah.
It's all in the past now, and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's not relevant. But um,
Mm,
we we lived together for 12 months, even though we decided to split.
yeah.
Um, Sold the house at Paradise Point, and he was in a lot of debt with the bank. But anyway, we both ended up with about $80,000 left.
Yeah.
And one of the members who happened to be in real estate, he helped me out. We're still great friends to this day. I still see him occasionally, walking at
Yeah.
Paradise Point or whatever.
Yeah.
Jason, he found this little place here at Paradise Point, a little duplex, and I just had enough for a deposit, and I just kept a little bit out so I could do a few repairs. It was rented out at the time.
Yeah.
Um, but it all happened at once. So I had really nowhere to live because it was rented. My sister took me in, my son took me in. I lived
Oh,
with
wow.
them.
Yeah. That's cool when you can
Yeah.
rely on your kids.
Good old Glenn, he said to me, he said, "Mum," he said, shouldn't it be the other way around?"
Yeah.
Fortunately, our family has
Uh,
a really good sense of humor.
yeah,
And my
that's so cool.
sister took me in. And you see, my sister's memories, keeping in mind she's 4 years younger, you find that people's memories are different to your own. They can be
Yeah.
similar,
Yeah.
but they have different understanding. They have
They
different,
see it from a different set of eyes, I guess. So it goes into their brain a
yes.
bit different. Yeah.
And my sister didn't have, because of the 4 years age gap, she didn't have the good just the same uh, early years with my cousins, that we grew up,
Mm.
that 4 years
Yeah.
head start on
Mm.
her. But
Yeah.
she's, yeah, look, I dearly love my sister.
Mm.
I really do.
Yeah.
And as my cousins and my children, it's, but anyway, my son took me in, my sister took me in. So eventually I got into this place, did a few little renos on it, and I've been here ever since.
Oh, wow. Yeah, cool.
No, and
Yeah.
worked at the gym.
Yeah.
And, but the major thing that I have learned in life is the decisions that you make through and it doesn't matter, you've got to remember the decisions that you make when you are younger, you are looking for the best path to take at the time,
Yeah.
but you do not understand the outcome or how it will affect others
Mm.
in the long term.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
The
It's
outcome of
almost like
decisions
it
made.
would be nice to have our brain from now back when we made those decisions.
Well, this is where, you
Yeah.
read before about the crystal ball,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
only. So decisions that were made earlier in my life, it hurts people. People
Yeah.
have been impacted, they've been hurt.
Mm.
And of course, if you had the crystal ball, but at the time you're just doing the best that you can.
That's it.
We do,
Yeah.
don't we?
Yeah.
You
That's all
know,
we're trying to do every day is just do the best as we can to, get
yeah.
through that day, I guess. Hey.
Well, you a single parent, so and my children were just my whole world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just wanted to do the best that you could for them
Yeah.
at the time. And but as I said, just decisions that you make. If only we had a crystal ball, but
Mm.
unfortunately we don't.
No.
So it's impacted on my children and loved ones.
Mm.
But you know what? They're just such good kids. They
Mm.
really
I've
are.
I've got a bit of a saying I like to say to people when we talk about the past. I like to say everything always works out because if it didn't, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it right now.
But it's so true. And I think very clear, even doing this podcast, I thought a lot about it before decided that I'd do it. You do become a little wiser as you get older.
Yeah, yeah.
But
And I think it's these stories that encourage other people to tell their story. And because everybody, when they hear stories, they always think, "Oh, I've got a story to tell," or and this
mm,
is, I hope these stories that we're doing on this podcast will inspire people to come on. Now, you were saying earlier that your mum passed. That was quite a hard thing. You didn't quite finish off. That's what
oh,
happened there. Yeah.
well, and it all happened at once. But yes, I'm sorry because I did,
No,
because
that's all
Betsy and
right.
I
Yeah,
had broken
it's a
up.
hard thing to talk about. So yeah.
Well, it wasn't so, but it was like the perfect storm. We'd broken up. Um, I was living with my sister and my son, and then my mum, um, I knew she was going to go, and my
Mm,
daughter she'd had her third child by then,
yeah.
and then just wanted to see that little baby,
Yeah.
which yeah, Nicole, she brought her down to see her,
Yeah.
but I knew she was going to go. As I said, this particular nursing home had these big windows, but they're quite interesting little stories because side stories, Carl.
Yeah.
Um,
That's all
I was there, I was sitting with her, and she lifted her head off the pillow. She looked out the window and she said, Cindy, she said, who are those people out there? And it was a lawn, and there was a clothesline, like a rotary hoist, so there was
Oh,
gold rope.
yeah.
And I came round and I put my head down beside her and I said, what people are those, Nan? She said, those people. She said, who are they? And I said, I don't know, Nan. And there wasn't anyone there.
Mm,
And that was a split
ghosts.
second. I went, she's
Mm,
going. She won't be here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then no, there's a few little odd stories, one with my dad as well. But yeah, and then she passed in her own time.
Yeah.
So I went up to the nursing home. Yeah, it was horrible. I
Mm.
mean, any death is, but she was at nursing.
Yeah.
She really only wanted to be with my dad. She really did.
Yeah. Yeah.
She didn't want to be on this earth anymore. Do you know they
No.
knew each other from the age of 7? Because they were in Toowoomba, they were raised in Toowoomba,
Wow. That's
but
a
they went to the
long
same
time.
school.
Mm.
And she used to say to me, "Oh, we used to swim in the Helidon spas," and yeah, so they went to school together.
Yeah.
So they'd known each other their whole lives. Mm,
Yeah. Wow.
mm.
What a long time. And you got sent to a psychiatrist or something like that?
Oh, that was well because of everything that had happened, and I didn't recognize it at first, but it was the only time in my life that I went into depression.
Wow. Yeah.
And I went to my doctor, and he'd been my dad's doctor.
How
So,
old were you at this stage when this happened?
oh well, she's been gone 15 years. There
Yeah.
you go.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so backtrack from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mid 50s, late
yeah,
50s, something around there.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
late. I
Okay.
was just
Mm.
backtracking myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, late 50s.
Yeah.
And you don't recognize it. It's just like something's died inside.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
my whole life, and even when I used to in the workroom with the typesetters behind me, they used to call me Smiley. It was my nickname.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, like for me to lose my inner smile,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
And I went to Bill, my doctor, who'd been
Yeah.
to after my dad, and I'm still with him to this day, 40 years later.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And I said, I don't know what's the matter. And he kind of recognized it. He sent me to a psychologist,
Yeah.
for depression.
Mm.
And I went to her and I'd written it all down. And, she didn't really even look at it. And I didn't feel that she listened to me.
Mm.
And,
Yeah.
I came out of there and I went, I, I'm not going back there again. And anyway, eventually, it was for a few months, all I did was sleep. I'd go
Yeah.
into classes, I'd go to work, I'd do my job, I'd come home, and I just felt I just slept all the time.
Mm. Yeah.
It
That
was a
happy
very,
spark was gone.
yes, it was a very strange
Mm. Yeah.
period. And eventually I started to come round and you start to, it's almost like you're ignited again. And it was
Yeah.
never the same, for a long
Mm.
time.
Yeah.
It took me a long, long time because I had phoned my mum every day all those years. I'd looked after it like a baby. She was
Yeah.
like my
Yeah.
child.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
so when she passed, it was like I'd lost my child.
Isn't it such a reverse cycle of things when your folks get older? Like my father passed not long ago, and it was
Yeah.
I was rolling him and changing his diapers with my mum,
Yes.
and um, what he was doing to me when I was a kid. So it's you know they look after us when we come into this world, and we look after them when they leave this world at the end. It's
Well,
bit
in a
surreal,
joke,
really, isn't it?
I
Mm.
know. Well, I say to people, sometimes say, look, we start in diapers, we end in diapers.
Yeah, yeah, it's
But
so true.
I
So
don't
yeah,
want my
it's
children to ever have to go through that. If I
no,
drop dead tomorrow, Carl, I'm a happy,
yeah,
I'm quite happy with that.
yeah, yeah,
I would
yeah.
not like my children to have to come to
Look
nursing
after
homes and
you.
look after
Mm.
me and, you
Yeah,
know, but the choice is not always ours.
yeah, no,
So,
no.
yeah, but
We
it I was going to say too, with the depression, I'm so pleased in retrospect that I did go into it because I understand it.
yes, yeah.
You
Yeah, so
know,
it's something you don't really know until you experience it, and then it makes it easier to
absolutely.
understand other people when they have depression
Mm,
as well, because it's like a sickness that takes over. That's from my experience. It's something unexplained and just really depressive, and you get stuck in a rut, I guess, or stuck in a hole.
Well, it's so much more than that. It's you know, like how can I explain it? The thing is that it's a black hole. That's how
Mm,
I think of it. It's a black hole that you
yeah.
can't climb out of.
Yeah, and
It
and
wouldn't
and
have
you
mattered
can't
what.
see, and when you're in it, you can't see the reason to the good stuff. When people tell you things,
Oh,
you're like, I don't, it doesn't make any effect on my emotions at the moment. So it's almost, yeah, numb, a numb type feeling for me. Mm,
yes. And you've had it, I'm sure.
yeah.
You
I'm
know,
diagnosed with depression and anxiety. Yeah, although I'm pretty good these days, but it's still something
mm.
that's there. Yeah,
Well, I was lucky. I didn't go into any pills or potions or anything. I managed to slowly climb out of the big black hole.
yeah,
And but then this has also helped me with programming. People that have come to see me.
yeah.
So many, so many different illnesses. It's not just stress. You've got stress, you've got depression, you've got so many eating disorders.
Yeah, yeah.
Quite often things that are quite that you don't that you have to try and relate to and
Mm,
to have an understanding of why people are going through it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
and so when I'm programming, it's just exactly the same as if that particular person's never been to a gym before. I love to take myself back to when I'd never been to a gym.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I really understand just how you feel.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
And what are you doing with yourself these days? What's your you're still working at 73? I think that's awesome.
Oh, they got me. They just can't get rid of me, can they?
They say the day you enjoy your job is the day you stop working. So you must really enjoy your job because it probably doesn't feel like work
Well, it's
a lot
not,
of the time.
and
Yeah,
and look, and my kids, they've got their own lives, and I've
yeah,
got my beautiful grandchildren, but they're all, and once again, you look back what it was like for you.
mm,
They've got, they're busy people. Um, the grandkids are all growing up.
yeah,
They've got their own lives, their
yeah.
friends.
How
So
old are the grandkids now? What sort of ages are they?
my eldest is 20.
Oh wow,
They're
yeah.
20, almost 18, 20, 18, 16,
Yeah,
12.
adults.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my daughter's four,
yeah.
four children.
Yeah.
And then my son has two, 13 and 12. And
Wow.
my son
Yeah.
just lives not far from me. And so I get to see his two, which is great.
Oh,
I
that's
saw him
awesome.
last
Yeah,
weekend.
that's really cool.
But my daughter and her hubby, they live on the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah.
So, and all the kids now are grown up. Once again, they're working, they've got university, they've got their own lives. But also, Nicole and Dave have a business, Orchid Beach, the top of Fraser Island.
Oh, wow.
They've had that
Huh.
for, it must be 4 or 5 years now. So
Yeah.
they don't just have the four kids, but they've
Yeah.
got a business, and everything has to be transported on low tide from
Yeah.
Rainbow Beach up to the top of Fraser Island.
Yeah.
And that's
Wow.
just part of what they do.
Yeah.
And so they're, unfortunately, I don't get to see them that often, but
Lucky we've got technology now, so you can keep an eye on what they're up to on Facebook and Instagram and things.
oh, exactly right.
Yeah. Or you could have a Zoom call. You know how to work Zoom now, so you can
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
even talk to them on Zoom.
Another learning curve.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you own the place you're in now. I see it quite proud of that. You've got
Oh,
yourself a duplex.
yes, we'll see 10. Um, it's through COVID, I um, used some of my super to pay out the remainder. But prior to that, for 10 years, I just worked every shift available, every
Yeah,
shift,
yeah,
every class,
yeah,
paid off extra on a mortgage.
yeah,
And so I was in good with the bank.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I had
Good work.
saved up enough in super. I went, no, I'm just going to pay this out. And
Yeah,
that's taken
good.
some pressure off. But
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be nice to have your own place. That's cool.
Well, it is good. And financially, though, I still at this particular point need to, when I say need to work, I want to work.
Yeah,
But
that's
financially,
that's good.
I need to work for just a little while longer. But hopefully I can always do something still for quite a few years to come. And if
Yeah,
I don't do
yeah,
it there, I'll find, I can't not do anything. That's not in my DNA.
yeah, yeah. Oh, it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast to talk about your whole life, really, your story. It's and ups and downs, and
Mm.
the things that come with that. It's been really inspiring to listen to, and I've really enjoyed it. Is there anything else you want to say, or want to say to the audience that's watching?
Yes. Look, the most important thing, and it's easy for us who are succeeding now to, suggest, ways and means of um, making headway in life. But it's not easy, as I said, even with depression, just taking baby steps.
Yeah,
For example, this morning, I heard a kookaburra. I went, isn't that amazing?
yes.
Isn't
Being
that
grateful for the little
beautiful?
things. Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's just not easy for a lot of people to take those first steps.
No,
They don't have the tools to do it.
yeah,
With depression, like, I'm talking about people that are really going through tragic things or things that have
yeah,
affected them from past lives,
yeah,
past things that have happened.
yeah.
But and it's really important if you can just find someone that will listen to you.
Mm,
Listening, I think, this is the most I've talked outside of taking class because I
yeah.
love to listen.
And I bet you wouldn't have talked about a lot of these subjects for many years as well.
Oh, no, not, no,
Yeah,
no, a long time. But it's been good
yeah,
to go back over it.
it
But
is.
and the most important thing that I've learned, as I said before, is try to really think out decisions
Mm,
that you're going to make because emotions come into decisions.
yes.
It's not just black and white.
Yeah. You have to take your emotions into account and sometimes not let your emotions make the decision for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the thing that to this day I'm still most proud of are my children
Yeah.
because they're both exceptional business people.
Yeah.
But the most important thing, they're both very kind, very caring
Mm,
parents.
yeah.
And what more could you possibly ask for?
That's it. Is to see your kids succeed in life. I think that's cool.
Yes, no,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, well, they're both, beautiful kids and and the grandkids,
Mm, yeah.
there's
Yeah.
not one bad egg about in
Yeah.
amongst them all.
It's so
So,
good.
mm,
Well,
yeah.
it's been a pleasure having you on the show. If there was anything you could change from the past, tell your former self when you were younger to change something for the future, is it
Do I don't probably go down that track because what's done is done.
excellent?
It's
Yeah,
done and dusted.
yeah.
I
And
can't
you've learned
change.
either way. Yeah,
Yeah, you can't change the past.
no, you can't.
So look, I've made, and I don't call them mistakes, they're just simply learning curves.
Yeah, learning curves. Yeah,
Well, you don't really make any mis you make a mistake if you do it twice.
yeah, all three times or four times.
Yeah, then it just comes a
Yeah,
really big blunder. But
yeah,
no, I don't. I can't undo the past. I can't change
yeah,
it. And I take ownership of the learning curves,
yeah,
the things, the judgments that you call at the time.
yeah,
But I can't undo it. I can't undo it. I
yeah.
can't change it. And all I can say is, I'm thank God for my my family. Thank God that I have my beautiful friends at the gym.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that we're doing this podcast today. And hopefully I can always listen and care. And
yeah,
that's all you really want to be remembered for.
yeah. That's it. Well, thanks heaps, CJ, for coming on the show. It's been a real pleasure having you on Strong, Happy, Healthy Love podcast. And don't forget, team, if you want to support this movement, we have t-shirts here, 100% organic cotton t-shirts that you can buy from the website. And thanks a lot again, CJ. It's been a pleasure having you on the show.
Oh, thank you. And I hope it reaches some of your listeners.
Strong, happy, healthy love. More than a t-shirt, it's a message. 100% organic cotton. $50 each. Free shipping in Australia. Free international shipping when you buy 2 or more. 22% of profits donated to mental health. You choose where it goes at checkout. Beyond Blue, ADHD Foundation, or future SHHL projects. Order yours now.